All right, you thirsty bastards, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of rivers, those watery highways that crisscross this goddamn planet. We've got a stack of articles and research here all about these majestic motherfuckers. Our mission, to figure out what's worth knowing, especially the shit that'll make you sound like a geography god at your next pub quiz. And trust me, you're going to want to flex this knowledge after a few pints. Joining us today is someone who can tell you everything you ever wanted to know about these liquid lifelines, from their crazy-ass length to the ancient rivers that existed before the continents decided to play musical chairs.
Happy to be here. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's cut the crap and get down to business. We're talking about the longest rivers on this bitch of a planet. We've all heard of the Nile and the Amazon. But what's the real deal? Which one of these watery bastards wears the crown?
Well, traditionally, the Nile has been considered the longest, clocking in at a mind-blowing 6,650 kilometers. But hold your horses, because the Amazon is giving the Nile a run for its money. Some studies suggest that the Amazon, if you include its estuary and tidal canals, could actually be longer, stretching over 6,992 kilometers.
Hold the fucking phone. Are you telling me we can't even agree on which river is the longest? It's 2024. We're sending tourists to space. And we still haven't figured this shit out.
It's not as simple as it sounds. Measuring a river's length is a surprisingly complicated process. There's a lot of debate about what to include in the measurement, like whether to count the estuary or those sneaky little tidal canals.
So it's all about technicalities, huh? Sounds like some bullshit to me.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess that's what makes it interesting, right? It's not just a straight line on a map. These rivers are wild, dynamic systems that are constantly changing and evolving. But let's not get bogged down on the details just yet. We've got a whole list of watery behemoths to cover. What else is vying for a spot in the top 10?
Coming in at a respectable third place is the Yangtze River in China, stretching over 6,300 kilometers. What's mind-blowing about the Yangtze is that it's entirely contained within one country. Imagine the power of a river system that dominates a single nation. It's no wonder the Yangtze has played such a pivotal role in shaping Chinese history and culture.
Damn, that's a lot of river for one country to handle. I bet the Chinese government has its hands full trying to manage that beast. All right, what other surprises do you have in store for us? Give us the lowdown on the rest of the top 10.
Well, get ready for a curveball. The Mississippi-Missouri River System clocks in at a whopping 6,275 kilometers, making it the fourth longest in the world. But here's the kicker. The Missouri River is actually longer than the Mississippi itself.
You're shitting me, right? The Missouri is longer than the goddamn Mississippi. I always thought the Missouri was just some measly little tributary.
That's what's fascinating about river systems. They're not always what they seem. The Missouri River drains a massive portion of the North American continent, stretching over 3,767 kilometers before it even meets up with the Mississippi.
So the Mississippi is basically riding the Missouri's coattails to fame, huh? Sneaky bastard. Well, that's enough about the Mississippi and its identity crisis. What other rivers are making a splash on this list?
In fifth place, we have the Yenisei River, flowing through Russia and Mongolia at a respectable 5,539 kilometers. Then we've got the Yellow River in China, clocking in at 5,464 kilometers.
Pull up the Yellow River. Isn't that the one that's notorious for its floods?
That's right. The Yellow River has a long and tumultuous history, shaping the landscape and the lives of the people who live along its banks. Its floods have been both a source of life and destruction.
Sounds like a real badass river full of drama and intrigue.
Next up, we have the Ob-Irtish Sister, a real globetrotter flowing through Russia, Kazakhstan, China, and Mongolia at 5,410 kilometers.
Damn, this river doesn't give a shit about borders. It's like the Genghis Khan of rivers, just conquering everything in its path. All right, what else have we got?
Moving right along, we've got the Rio de la Plata in South America, a massive estuary stretching over 4,880 kilometers. Then there's the Congo River in Africa, a powerhouse of a river at 4,700 kilometers. And finally, rounding out our top 10 is the Amur River, snaking its way through Russia, China, and Mongolia at 4,444 kilometers.
Okay, that's a shit ton of rivers. And I'm guessing each one has its own unique story to tell, right? I mean, we've got everything from flood-prone badasses to rivers that don't give a damn about national boundaries. It's like a goddamn soap opera out there in the river world.
You're absolutely right. Each of these rivers has its own fascinating history, ecology, and cultural significance. We could spend hours talking about the unique challenges and opportunities they present.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have hours. We're going to keep this deep dive moving. But you know what? I'm actually kind of intrigued by those ghost rivers. The ones that don't exist anymore. That sounds like some real mind-blowing shit.
Oh, you're in for a treat. These ancient river systems tell a fascinating story about the planet's history and how the continents themselves have shifted over time. For example, did you know that there's evidence suggesting that the Amazon and the Congo rivers were once connected?
Wait, what the fuck? You're telling me that the Amazon, that rainforest behemoth in South America, used to flow all the way to Africa? Get the fuck out of here. That's some seriously wild shit.
It might sound crazy, but the evidence is there. We're talking continental drift, the rising of the Andes Mountains, and a whole lot of geological drama.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. Let's hear more about these ghost rivers. Tell me everything.
Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey back in time, to a world where the continents looked very different, and rivers flowed in ways you wouldn't believe. All right, let's rewind the clock a few million years. Back when the continents were still getting their shit together. Imagine South America and Africa, all cozy, like two drink dudes sharing a bar stool.
Okay, I'm picturing it. A real bromance going on back then. So what's the deal with the Amazon and the Congo? How the hell were they connected?
Well, during this continental snugglefest, the Amazon River, instead of flowing east into the Atlantic like it does today, was flowing west. And get this, it might have actually been connected to the Congo River basin.
So the Amazon was basically doing a continental backstroke, huh? That's one hell of a commute. But seriously, what kind of evidence do we have for this? Are we talking fossils, rock formations, or what?
We're talking about a combination of geological and paleontological evidence. Scientists have found similar rock formations and fossils on both sides of the Atlantic, suggesting that these land masses were once joined. And when you look at the topography of the ocean floor, you can see the remnants of ancient river channels that could have connected the Amazon and Congo.
Damn, that's some detective work right there. So what happened? Why did the Amazon decide to ditch its African fling and head east?
Well, like any good bromance, things eventually got complicated. Over millions of years, the Andes Mountains started pushing their way up, creating a barrier that disrupted the Amazon's westward flow.
So the Andes were the ultimate cockblock, huh? That's cold, man.
You could say that. The rising Andes essentially created a dam, forcing the Amazon to find a new path. And that's how we ended up with the mighty eastward-flowing Amazon we know and love today.
All right, that's a hell of a story. But what about the other ghost rivers you mentioned? Did any of them pull stunts as crazy as the Amazon?
Absolutely. Let's talk about the West Siberian glacial lake drainage. Picture a river so massive it makes the Amazon look like a trickle of piss. This prehistoric beast was over 10,000 kilometers long, stretching across a huge chunk of Asia.
10,000 kilometers. Holy shit, that's longer than my list of regrets after a bender. What the hell was this thing draining?
During the last ice age, a massive lake formed in western Siberia, dammed by glaciers. As the glaciers started melting, this mega lake needed an outlet, and that's where a giant river comes in. It carved its way through the landscape, carrying a colossal amount of water all the way to the Black Sea.
So it was like a giant, icy plumbing system. Nature, you crazy bitch.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? And speaking of crazy, let's hop over to Europe and check out the Lohberg River. This one might hit a little closer to home for some of our listeners.
All right, lay it on me. What's so special about this Lohberg River?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that the Thames, Rhine, Meuse, and Scheldt rivers were all once part of one giant river system, the Lohberg.
Wait, seriously, the Thames, the fucking river that flows through London, used to be connected to the Rhine. That's some bizarre shit right there.
It just goes to show you that even the most familiar landscapes have a hidden past. Now there's some debate about exactly where the Lohberg River flowed and how long it was. Some scientists believe it snaked its way southwest into the English Channel, while others argue that it headed north, emptying into the North Sea near what is now Yorkshire.
So this Lohberg River was basically the original European superhighway, huh? Connecting all those different regions. I bet it was a wild ride back then.
It would have played a crucial role in shaping the landscape and the early human settlements of the region. Imagine the trade routes, the migrations, the battles that took place along its banks. It's a history that's been largely forgotten, buried beneath the sands of time.
Man, that's heavy. We're talking about a river that's witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, the movement of people, the evolution of entire ecosystems. It's a goddamn shame that it's gone.
But it's not entirely gone. It lives on in the rivers that flowed from it, in the landscape it shaped, and in the stories that have been passed down through generations.
I like that. It's like a ghost that still haunts the land. Okay, so we've talked about these vanished rivers. But why the hell should we care? I mean, they're gone, right?
Right.
What's the relevance to our lives today?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why should we give a damn about rivers? especially the ones that have gone to the great watery graveyard in the sky.
Exactly. I mean, we've got enough shit to worry about in the here and now. Climate change is fucking up the planet. Politicians are lying through their teeth. And I still haven't figured out how to fold a fitted sheet. Who's got time to reminisce about ancient rivers?
Fair enough. But here's the thing. Understanding the past can help us navigate the present and prepare for the future. These ghost rivers, they're not just curiosities, they're clues. They tell us how the Earth has changed over time, how landscapes have evolved, and how these changes have impacted the life that depends on them.
Okay, I'm listening. Give me an example. How the hell does knowing about some ancient river help me deal with the shitstorm that is the 21st century?
Let's take the Amazon-Congo connection. The fact that these two massive river systems were once potentially linked tells us something about continental drift, about how the Earth's tectonic plates are constantly shifting and reshaping the planet. And this knowledge, it's not just academic. It helps us understand things like earthquake patterns, volcanic activity, and even the distribution of natural resources.
All right, I see your point. We can't just ignore the past. It's all connected, like some giant fucked up jigsaw puzzle. But let's bring it back to rivers. Why should we give a shit about the rivers that are still flowing today? I mean, they're just water.
They're so much more than just water. Rivers are the lifeblood of this planet. They provide us with drinking water, irrigation for agriculture, transportation routes, and they support a mind-boggling array of biodiversity. They're also incredibly sensitive to environmental changes, which makes them valuable indicators of the health of our planet.
So if our rivers are fucked, we're fucked. That's a pretty sobering thought. But what can we do about it? Are we just doomed to watch as our rivers dry up, get polluted?
And disappear. Not necessarily. Knowledge is power. By understanding how rivers function, how they've changed over time, and how they're being impacted by human activities, we can start to make more informed decisions about how to manage and protect them.
So you're saying we need to get our shit together and start treating our rivers with a little more respect.
Exactly. We need to think about things like sustainable water management, reducing pollution, and protecting riparian habitats. And we need to start thinking about rivers, not just as resources to be exploited, but as vital ecosystems that deserve our care and attention.
All right, you've made your point. Rivers are fucking important. We need to stop taking them for granted and start thinking about how our actions are impacting them. It's like that old saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
And trust me, when it comes to rivers, we really don't want to find out what it's like to live in a world without them.
Damn, that's some heavy shit. All right, folks, that's about all the time we have for this deep dive. We've learned a lot about rivers, from their mind-blowing lengths to the ancient ghost rivers that once flowed across the continents. We've also learned that rivers are fucking essential to life on this planet, and that we need to start treating them with a hell of a lot more respect. So next time you see a river, don't just see water. See a story, a mystery, a force of nature that's been shaping our world for millions of years. Appreciate its power, its beauty, and its fragility. And for fuck's sake, don't piss in it. This has been The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time for another wild ride into the depths of knowledge. Peace out.